Algebra 1 EOC Star Review, Category 2, on page 10. We're looking at linear inequalities. So linear inequalities is our less than, greater than symbols, or less than or equal to and greater than equal to. So if it's just less than or greater than, we know the line is dashed. That means that points on the line we do not include. Less than or equal to, greater than equal to, those are our solid lines. So if it's something or equal to, that means we do include points on the line. So we indicate that by making the line solid. If it's less than, we would shade below the line. And if it's greater than, we would shade above the line. So here's an example. And when we work with inequalities, before we get started, remember, do not forget your golden rule of inequalities that says if you multiply or divide by a negative while getting your variable by itself, the variable y, do not forget to flip your inequality sign. So here we want to get our variable y on the left side by itself. We want to get it into y equals mx plus b so we can graph it. So we are going to move our 5y to the left by subtracting it, doing the opposite. We'll bring down the negative 4x, and then we have 2y minus 5y we know is negative 3y. All that is greater than 12. So I'm going to space move divide at this point. I'm going to space out my constant, the positive 12. I will then move my x term by adding the 4x to the right. Then my last step, I notice I have a negative 3 being multiplied by y, would be to divide both sides by negative 3. Sirens are going off in our head. We're divided by negative. We have to flip our inequality sign. On the right side, we can simplify. So we're going to do don't break my heart. 4x divided by negative 3 and 12 divided by negative 3. Once again, sirens are going off. We're going to have to flip the inequality because we divided by negative 3. So we get y values are less than negative 4/3 x minus 4. So we now can easily identify the slope is the number and coefficient in front of x, and the y-intercept is the constant added or subtracted at the end, the b, our start, minus 4. So once we know our start b and we go m, we can apply our rise over run. Up 4, left 3. Up 4, left 3. That is our rate of change. This will be a dashed line since the inequality symbol is just less than. And then since it's less than, we will also know to shade below the line. Here's a second example. Y plus 1 is greater than or equal to negative 1/2 x. This equation is inequality is very close to being in y equals. We just need to move one thing to the right side, and that's that plus 1. So to move it to the right side, we will simply do the opposite and subtract it. Now we have the inequality with y by itself. Y value is greater than or equal to negative 1/2 x minus 1. There's nothing to divide here because there's already an understood 1 in front of y. So we don't have to apply the golden rule here. The slope is found in front of the x, and then the y-intercept is at the end, the b, the minus 1. So we have our starting point, minus 1. We will go slope, which is negative 1/2. So we up 1, left 2, or we could go down 1, right 2, rise over run. The line on this one is solid because we see the or equal to sign. So we want to include points on this line. Since it's greater than, we know to shade above the line. That tells us that any point in that shaded region or on the line is a good solution. If you plug that point, say 1, 2, you plug 1 in for x and 2 for y, and you simplified it, you would get a true statement.